All right, cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Friday recap where we go over to some plays that we could have got into for the week that just passed. All right, so just give me 1 second while I just send out the link to the rest of the community so we can just get started. It was a confusing week for myself, to be honest. But give me 1 second. All right. All right, cool. The link was sent. All right, so now we can get started. But before I start, of course, if you guys have any pair that you guys want me to go over, please feel free to comment it under the comment section below, and I'll definitely go over for that for you guys. All right. All right, cool. So we're gonna start with my favorite pair, GJ, as well. As always, actually, let's start with GU first. And let me just check the date for the beginning of the week, so we're gonna start from there. Calendar. All right, so Monday the 8th was the first day of the week. Well, actually, Sunday was the first day of the week. 7th. So let's just go back. I want an hour. So right here. All right, cool. So let's just go over GU real quick. Currently, I'm on an hour chart, and what I expected GU to do was kind of dip a little further so I can get a better entry price right here. But strength just took it off. So GBP USD, GBP strength and USD strength was kind of bouncing around every other day, and it was kind of pissing me off. But it's same with GU and I'm not GU, GJ and EU. It was just bouncing around, but yeah, it was kind of confusing trying to get into trades. But 1 second. As you can see here, like right here was confusing as hell for me because honestly, I thought like it came down to this strong resistance point. We have on a 4 hour just to see how strong that resistance was actually. Right here, resistance, 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 resistance. That's why it's good to lose all time frames to see the rejection of the candles. Like right here was kind of confusing because at this point I thought the trade was gonna go down because it was rejecting here, rejecting here, rejecting here, and then price just pushed up during the York session. So that was that just threw me off, and then it just kept going up. So hop on the 15-minute. See, I caught an entry right here, and I caught another one right here, expecting it to go down. Lost some bird over here, but it's all good. See, that would have been a nice because of breakthrough right there. I also draw my rectangular boxes right here to signify, the little range that I played off of. It finally broke that range. Like this is the type of things you want to look for whenever you're ranging or whatever. So as you can see, was ranging, bouncing around. Sellers was trying to sell the top. Buyers were trying to sell the to buy the bottom. I was not in this at all. Like I was not trying to get into the mess with the sellers and buyers, just beefing in this little range right here. So I decided to just wait for the breakout of this little range right here, and got my entry right here. It was a good entry. I was in the profit for a good minute or so. Right at New York Open too. So what time was this? Yeah, 3:30. Right, damn near New York Open. So I was up 30 pips. I went to bed. Stop loss hit. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because I had another entry right there. Price was looking to go down too. So it failed to make a lower low, and then price, like the strength just went up out of nowhere. I really don't know what happened, but it happens, you feel me? So I was like, I did my job. Like I was just a short-term seller trying to sell it down all the way down here, at least not there, to this major level right here. Plus the market just opened, so I just had aggressive entries right there, and it didn't work out for me. So what buyers actually did, right? Buyers lost the battle right here, but what buyers actually did was bought the dip going back up. So as you can see, I still had these two rectangular boxes around just to show the area of the consolidation. Buyers waited for the higher low, didn't buy this. They bought this right here, and then it just consolidated a little bit again, and then it finally broke to this buy zone. So I didn't buy it here. Like at that point, I just switched my buys. Like my buys for the whole week was a bear. I mean, it was buying, but I just wanted to scalp it down for a sell just to get a little bit more profit. Um, you know, just to try to get a little bit more profit going down. But right at that point, I realized like strength was, GBP got a lot of strength. USD lost strength on this whole week. So what I did was I just changed my bias and I try to go for buys only for the rest of the week. And it worked out for me a little bit. All right. Not a lot of entries, but it still worked out in the long run. So came up here, higher high, higher low right here. You could have bought it right here. I personally didn't because it was too close to that resistance zone. So I wasn't really trying to force it. Plus it was 11 o'clock, 11:15. So it was during a slow period as well. So timing issue was an issue too. So I didn't really get into that trade like I was supposed to. Well, no one's supposed to get in the trade because it was 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock starts to slow down. So it was really not a good option anyway. What I really wanted to do was wait for this break and retest on this buy zone right here on this mid level. I think it did it like this. This kind of confused me too because I expected wicks from here. I didn't expect strong candles just going back and forth, back and forth. So that kind of messed me up. But this was during the right time, the right price. It just like I didn't like how price was reacting. If you hop on an hour, yeah, it did reject and then came back down for a high low. Right, the high low is a consolidation period. Like this is when price the two strengths GBP and USD was both strong. I mean not both strong, both weak at the same time. And that's when price was just ranging out and it finally broke through on the slower periods, which kind of threw me off as well because like this whole week, like the price, everything was moving on like the slow periods, and I was like confused because that doesn't normally happen. But I guess because the price was ranging and then during the volatility times, both strengths were even, and then as as the volatility time just passes, right, price just shot up. So it was still in an uptrend. It's still a higher high, higher low situation. It didn't make a lower low or anything. So I know I still didn't feel comfortable getting to this trade because it was just bouncing around. There was really no clear entries around this time. So I just decided to wait for another, higher high, higher low. And this is what we had right here. Like I wanted it to touch this major level right here, 1.3800. It broke through that like I wanted it to. But it didn't come close to this major level right here. That's why this is my entry right here. Like this, yeah, it is a higher low, but at the same time, I didn't see any reaction to it for before it went up. Like this is the only reaction to it, and it just flew. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let this GU trade play until next week. But we can still go over, the high lows and what type of trade you guys could have got into, for aggressive entry. So this one right here, this higher low would have been good too as well. Maybe we can figure this out as well to see where it went to, and it went to the 0.618 level. So it rejected, and then just shot up to this mid level right here. All right. So in case you guys don't know how to use a fib, it's basically a retracement level tool, right? You just use it by itself. You use it with confluence for everything else. So like normally, it does a confluence with the major levels or mid level. But it just mainly tells you where price can potentially retrace in the near future and then potentially make a higher high after that higher low. All right. So the way you do it is you go for swing high to swing low. Swing low to swing high, right, for buys. So it's basically where the a big push-up first started. So this was where the push-up just started, and then you take it until price just started falling, which is retracing. All right. So as you can see here, right, we had some wick action on the 0.382. If you entered there, that would have been fine as well because it was rejecting. Plus it was during it was close to London too as well. So that would have been a nice entry as well. But it did break through to 0.018. That would have been a nice entry as well. If you guys were in negative and you got into here, you wanted to get another trade right here, that would have been a good entry as well. As you can see, it flew past. Normally it would hit the 0.27 and then try to make another higher low, but it just rips through it. As you can see, and just goes to your mid level. All right, so this could have been your like your conservative TP, and then the next mid level or the next major level would have been your aggressive TP. All right, so that's how you use a fib, and then that's how you can use it for retracements and re-entries during your trading. All right, so as we went up, kept going up, I drew a horizontal line or horizontal rectangle to signify the last higher high. All right, so this is another way you can get into re-entries and just track your trade going up. All right, so you just draw a little rectangular box or a long rectangular box, however you want it, from the last higher high. All right, and then you can potentially get a re-entry when it makes a new higher high and comes down for a higher low. So as you can see right here, I think I got it around here just because this was a nice higher high, and then went up higher high, higher low. Right, I think I got it here too, just for an aggressive entry right here. It went up about 30 pips, I think. 20 pips. I wanted to take it to the next level, so I broke even on that, and it came back down, potentially a double bottom, and then it shot up again. So I wanted to take it to the next major level here, but as you can see, it didn't go there. So sellers were definitely around here, definitely trying to defend this area, this price, to sell it back down. All right, so this is what sellers wanted. Sellers got in over here, right? They tried to take it down to this major level right here, which they did. And as you can see, it started to downtrend. All right, so right now, buyers were out of the trade, and sellers got into the trade. All right, so we can try to fit this as well. So this is the complete opposite of a buy. You just do it from swing high to swing low. As you can see, we was at the 0.05 mid fib level, and then kind of rejected a little bit, came down, but at this point it made a higher low. So it didn't come close to this low right here. It made a higher low off of it. So the fib, you can't use it anywhere, right? It's pretty good to use it when you see an obvious big push up. So you can try to use it on a lower time frame, but on the higher time frames, like I'll show you later on with a pair of GJ. With the higher time frames, it's more clearer to see the retracement. All right, so to just continue, right, price just went down to major level right here, and I expected this to hold. So as you can see, buyers were trying to defend this, but I don't buy the left shoulder of anything. Right, that's the first touch. I want the double bottom. Right, so potentially doing something like this. Came down. All right, cool, and round it off. You can just do a little right there. I wanted this to hold right here, the right shoulder. So if the right shoulder would have held, I would have definitely got into it for a buy. But as you can see, still more sellers than buyers in this area right here. All right, so sellers definitely took this price to the low side. Right, buyers wanted to get into right here, take it up, make a higher high, higher low, and they continue going up. But as you can see, sellers definitely took this down to it broke 1.3800, and then sellers was really trying to sell this right here. So you can see a lot of wicks right here, and this is during London Open. So London Open, a gigantic wick, right? Expected price to push down. It made a lower low, came up again, retested, right? It didn't really equal out. Kind of higher high, kind of, but nonetheless, like sellers were still in control at this point. But once price broke through again, this was surprising. I was just watching this. I wasn't really trying to get into it. I was just watching this. I think this was today actually. Yes, last night. Yeah, so this was nonsense. I really expected price to go down, but USD lost mad strength for some reason. GBP just got strength out of nowhere, which is so annoying. But it's all good, All right, so as you can see, a higher high was created, breaking this 1.3800 level, right? Didn't come down to this level right here after it broke through, but it did make a higher low. So you got to take account for that too. I wouldn't really buy it over here because even though it's a high low, it's still pushing into resistance right here. So I wasn't really trying to get into this right here, but once it broke above again and then wicked above this 1.3800 level, that's when you want to get into. So this would have been a nice entry right here. This would have been a nice entry right here. 930, 915, perfect entries, New York Open. And then as you can see, we was out for 50 pips. All right, so this is current right now. All right, boom, 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 higher low, and then we just took off. All right, so this is what you guys wanted to look for, like every time, like whenever you're buying, just keep this in the back of your head. You need a higher low to buy, a higher low to buy. All right, a higher low to buy. All right. So once you get that higher low and it's favoring your market condition, this timing is perfect too. Usually market opens, volatility times, all that. You're straight for that buy. All right. You have no worries. If you do lose, then you can have a loss with a easy mindset because you did the right thing. Just priced in, it didn't cooperate with you. You feel me? So with that being said, right, we got the higher high right there in this area, not compared to this, just in this area right here. We did make a higher high, higher low right there, and then we just took off. So let me hop on a 5 minute, see if I can get more entries. So normally, what I used to do, well, I still can do it, but I haven't seen it lately. On a 5 minute, once I entered on a 15 minute, on a 5 minute, I can get little entries as well. Going back. So it's the same concept as higher time frames. Like it's the same concept. I just watch for the higher high being created on the 5 minute, draw a little rectangular box, and then wait for price to get down there so I can potentially buy it again with a 0.01 just to stack on my wins. If that makes sense. But yeah, so it didn't really do that on a 5 minute on GU. This is what I want to. This is the time I want to get in because I missed this entry right here. All right, so on a 15. All right, it was kind of too late for me, so I didn't really want to get in because I was already in. So to try to take it down to the lower lows. So I broke through, came up here, and it made a higher high. So currently it went up 50 pips. All right, it shut up late, 50 pips. Well, 50, 60 pips. This would have been my target right here, my first target. And then obviously the next target would have been 1.3900. But as you can see here, right now it's kind of rejecting this major, this mid level right here. So if this was like a normal time, right? What time is it right now? 2:57. Not really. 1 second. Somebody commented on the. Okay, cool. Never mind. But yeah, so as you can see, this mid level right here, we wanted this mid level to hold. All right. So unfortunately, it didn't hold. But it was during like a non-volatility time anyway. Market's about to close and all, so it wasn't really an ideal price to buy it anyway. It was too high. But in all reality, like if this was a regular time, like let's say this was during London, right? Right. Let's say this took up during London, and then now we're in New York. So it did this thing, and but you missed your entry right here. Like normally you want the same thing as always, a high high and then a high low right here. But as you can see right here, it kind of slowed down, right, due to time issue and all. And then just price just didn't want to go up any further. So whenever you see this, like whenever you're in a trade, like this is another clue to get out the trade. Just in case it just falls, right? Or just, take some profit, move your stop loss and break even or whatever you need to do to secure some profit. All right. You should not lose a winning trade at all. Like you should either break profit or take profit. Okay. So this was up 50 pips. That's a winning trade, like 50 to 100 pips. That's a good amount of pips right there. But as you can see, it did not make a higher high after that. So kind of double top right there, looking to make a lower low off of this mid level right here. As you can see, it's just going down. And then continue to possibly go down like this. So like whenever you see a double top happen, just be alert that all right, cool. So it's not making a higher high right now. Does it make a lower low? You don't have to get out, but if it does make a lower low, that's you should get out because that's the start of a downtrend, a little downtrend on the lower time frame, as you can see is working right now. So you just got to be mindful of that. All right. So yeah, that's that for GU. Does anybody have any questions before I move on to the next pair, which is GJ? All right, it's pretty just it was just bouncing around here like for the past couple of days, bouncing around here, boom, boom. Hopefully it can come down again so I can actually get into this trade for the week coming up. But I'll talk more about that on Sunday as I make my plans over the weekend. All right. But yeah, that's pretty much it for GU. We didn't really do much. Not really a lot of opportunities for anything, to be honest with you. Missed a trade here. Could have got a trade right here. Didn't really quite get up there. But yeah, GU was pretty mediocre this week, which is kind of upsetting. But hopefully, right, during, the end of March, beginning of March, I mean, not the end of March, the end of February, beginning of February, bro, what am I saying? The end of February and the beginning of March, like the whole month of March, I'm expecting USD to really lose its strength. So hopefully GBP keeps its strength of, of buying, like it has a high strength so I can continue to buy it. all right, and I buy it efficiently like I used to. So good high highs, high lows on top of these major levels. Good structure and all, but GBP USD has been very mediocre this month and last month. So so yeah, that's all good. That's why we have other pairs to trade. That's why we have backup pairs. So what I advise y'all to do is not pick, you know, one or two pairs just to stick to every single day. That's what I personally did in the beginning. Like I used to trade only GU and GJ, and I realized like sometimes those pairs don't work. There's other plays to be made attached to these, you know, end currencies, so USD and JPY. So that's when I interpreted. That's when I added EUR USD and NZD JPY to my arsenal, so I could trade it as well. I trade a little bit of gold too as well, but mainly these four are on my four pairs that I trade. So GU and GJ are my main pairs. EU and NJ are my backup plans. All right. So whenever you know realizing strength is the issue on one of your favorite pairs, just I don't know if I showed you this real quick, but I don't know if I showed you guys this index that I made, but this is the index I use to, you know, gauge the strength, and also I use the app index as well to gauge the immediate strength. So let me hop on the trading note, hop on the community. No, hop on. Where's it at? It's a groups, tools, heat map. I also use the heat map with the app, and then yeah, I just use the percentage and the colors. All right, so this is like for the current strength right now, and this is like for the overall. Where's my index for this overall? So I'm just gonna give you this template for you guys again. So EXY is the euro currency, BXY is a British currency, DXY is the US dollar currency, and then JXY is the Japanese yen currency. Those are the four I mainly use. If you guys need AUD currency, it is AXY. And I think that's all I have. I don't think I have New Zealand currency. I'm trying to find that. But yeah, this is pretty much how I do it. I come over here to this little box right here. I change it from candles to lines so I can see the overall. I don't have to, you know, this is what candles look like. It's a lot of gaps within them, which is very confusing. So I just use a line, all right, to just gauge the currency, and I have on a 4 hour, so I can get the overall. Hop on the 4 hour, hop on the 4 hour, hop on the 4 hour. Make sure they're all on the same time frame, or else they're going to be pretty much useless if you don't have it on the same time frame. So just make sure they're on the same time frame, and make sure they have a line on them. And this is how I change my layout, so you can have it, you know, 4x4 sideways, 4x4 vertical, boxes with four in them. You know, change your layout however you like, but this is the way I use it, the vertical, and it works fine for me. So like I could see like overall. Right, and try not to go too far back, because as you can see, this is October 20th, and you're in 4 hours. So like kind of zoom in like this. Make sure you're like at least in the beginning of the year. As you can see, EUR started to lose strength and then just popped up. It just pops some strength lately. So it's pretty strong right now. Hop on British pound, very strong as you can see. Hop on US dollar, weak from the first start of January till now, right? It's trying to gain strength a little bit, but it's still, you know, still getting weak. All right, wait, actually, this is February. My fault. February. So strong. It was strong during January, as you can see right here. January was very strong. All right, that's what pulled all the prices down. That's why I was saying like I'm not gonna short. I'm gonna buy US dollar all month of January, because I knew it was gonna keep buying until, you know, it gets to like maybe mid-February, early March. All right, but as you can see now, we're getting that weakness finally on February 5th, like the first start of February, and then now we're just like losing a lot of strength on USD, which is good for buyers. You know, this is what buyers actually want. So as long as USDs keep losing strength, but I got to keep in mind like it's still early. It's still early for USD to lose strength, but you know, as this keeps losing strength, I can still potentially get in some trades. And then for the yen, as you can see, it's going back and forth. So I was weak for a couple of months. I mean, a couple of days, popped up for some strength, and now it's trying to lose strength again. So I want JVY to also lose strength as well to correlate with USD, so I can buy GBP, JPY, and GU. All right. So that's just a quick lesson on how to use the index, and also another way to check strength is just using the pairs itself. So I don't know if I went over this last week or whatever, but I just want to go over it again because it's very important whatever you're trading. So what I do is, let's say I want to, buy GBP USD, but I was skeptical on how, the strength of GBP is, right? So obviously I want GBP to be very strong and USD to be very weak. So I can just, compare it to any other pair that I see. So it's called relative strength. All right. So this is what I do. Hop on GBP. All right. I'm gonna open another one. All right, cool. So GBP. Okay, I got GBP on here. I'm gonna put at least 4 vertical. So I have GBP USD, GBP JPY. I don't want to use GA because GA is not a major pair. What do I want to use? GBP AUD, no, GBP NZD. I can use this. All right, so I'm gonna put GA on there just to see the strength compared to AUD, and then CAD. All right, and I am on a 15. Let me hop on the hour. You can either hop on a 4-hour or the hour for this one. I usually like to use the hour for it because I'm going to trade it right now. So I just want to see the strength of current strength right now between everything. All right, so for the first one, GBP USD, as you can see, it just keeps bouncing around, so it's kind of mediocre. Just battling with strength. All right, so but currently right now, as you can see, GBP is stronger than USD. So if you were like, before London or whatever, and you was looking for a trade, like a nice setup, right? You want to do this first. It's relative strength. So you just want to see if GBP is strong. So let's say we're in London right now, right? I peep GBP's stronger than US dollar right now, right? Actually, I'm gonna put GCAD on there since I want to trade you with GU, right? I'm gonna see if GBP strength is compared to other currencies besides USD. All right, so I want to trade GBP USD. It's before London, and I'm looking for relative strength. So hop on the GBP CAD, right? As you can see, currently stronger than CAD, so that's one. So that's good, right? But overall, let me see overall. Overall, it's kind of bouncing around with the strength, so you could take that into account too as well. But you just want the current situation. So currently, GBP is stronger than CAD, so that's 1 point for GBP for strength, right? GJ, as you can see, stronger than JPY, so that's 2 for GBP strength, all right? And then as you can see for GBP AUD, AUD is it's kind of mediocre, but GBP is kind of weaker than AUD. As you can see, it's kind of sloping down right now. So it's 2-on-1 for GBP strength, and then compared to, I already have CAD. Let me put NZD on there. GBP NZD. Compared to NZD, it's kind of even, but currently GBP is stronger than NZD. But yeah, that's just a way you can see if GBP is really strong. So if I seen like GBP was like shooting up on all these pairs, then yeah, I'm definitely hopping in GU if the setup is correct. If setup is right there, right? So that's another way you can check strength. All right, so that's another confirmation you guys can get before entering a trade. All right, so that's that. But let me go back to going over other pairs. Let's go to GJ. All right, so the day we started February 7th. All right, cool. So February 7th, we opened close to a resistance point. As you can see, I had a sell price right here for a counter trend. I kind of got it right here, right? I kind of wanted to go lower. That's why I didn't really take part in it. I should have because, I got to do my job regardless. So that's my bad. To myself, I'm really talking to myself. That's my bad. You should have did it. But it's all good, right? This could have been a buy zone right here, but I wanted the counter trend right here so I can, get the big push up from this. And also kind of fill all this nonsense too, because this is all imbalance, right? So I just want to fill all that up. Maybe he's gonna do it next week, but we'll just have to see. But we just hopped off that resistance zone or close to resistance zone, came down, made a higher low. Yeah, made a lower high actually, kind of double bottom right there. So at this point, what time was this too? 11:45. Never mind. I was gonna say like normally, right? Buyers would have looked for setup right here. Maybe not enter right there on this first touch, but after this first touch, wanted a higher high and a higher low right after that. So possibly right here and then continue up, right? And just because price was really coming down right here, it didn't make a lower low at this very moment, but it also didn't make a higher high. So the buyers was really in a kind of a predicament right there, so they couldn't really get into that trade. So yeah, so it kept going down. This support was it was holding too, but sellers was trying to really sell this down. Sellers were really trying to sell this down to whatever level they wanted to. So that's why I wanted to go all the way down to at least the mid level right here, but really 143. But as you can see, like if you were a buyer, you would have saw this a higher low, a lower high being created. So you really wouldn't get into this trade. You see the consolidation right here. We don't get into consolidation unless it's really wicking. Like the only way we can get into consolidation is, if price just shot up. So let me just, all right, right here. So if you were the buyer and you saw this and you saw consolidation like this, yeah, that's straight. You can get in right there because that's still a higher low right there, right? You want to get into higher lows. But what happened was, this is what happened. It dropped crazy, right? Not crazy, but like it still dropped. And then it consolidated. So at this point, you need a higher high and a higher low right on top of that that support, that resistance right there. So consider support, and then have a roll reversal right there. So that's the same as a 1, 2, 3 pattern, right? You either need consolidation or a double bottom. So this is basically like a quadruple bottom or whatever, but still consolidation. But you want this basically a higher high and higher low right after it. So counter trending, not counter trending, but contradicting the sellers. Okay, so when we see consolidating off a higher high, that's a good entry right there. The opposite is not a good entry. All right. So as you can see here, it did just that. Came down, consolidated, and then it made a lower low. It made a lower low, lower high, and then it could continue going down. Came up shy of this mid level right here, but this is the area around it, so this is close enough. So it did a wick right there, and then price just shot down. All right. So once we got here, right, we didn't even touch this major level right here, which is kind of disappointing because that's what I really wanted to. Like that could have been a possibility for myself. Like came shy of it. Like it was just like 5 pips off, or 3 pips, but still it's too far for me. So I really wanted to be patient with this and wait for that price to hit. Unfortunately, it didn't, and we got some mediocre strength right here. So this was confusing to me as well. But nonetheless, it made a higher high right after consolidation, higher low right there. Right, it's kind of hard to see because it just bouncing around like. It's easy to see like once it happened, but right now, like before, it was really confusing. So that's why you gotta be very careful. Like that's why I want to just wait for obvious plays and not be too aggressive. All right. So, but nonetheless, this price did shoot up, and then went to this mid level right here of 144.500. All right. So came up here, broke through, right? So this is what this is what buyers wanted right here. Perfect, like I talked about a couple minutes ago. Higher high, consolidation right there. And I think this is institution, because this is like liquidity right here. This is where people hold their money right here. They had orders right here, and then just the big institutions just shot that down and made people lose money like myself. So I had a little stop loss of 5 pips. Like right here, I lost 5 pips on it, and I woke up, stop loss hit, and then I saw price shoot up. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I think like when I see consolidation like that, when people's money just sitting right there, I might just move my stop loss a little bit further, like 20 pips maybe, just in case, because I don't want no nonsense happening like this just to take me out for no reason. You feel me? So that's just something that I keep in mind in the back of my head whenever I see consolidation, and not like a regular entry. Like a sniper entry right here, so like a wick, like one wick, and then continue up. So this was a lot of orders just wanted to buy that. So it just took everybody out, and then went up 50 pips. And then sellers were just waiting to sell this right here. So I had my counter trend sell price right here. As you can see, sellers did take action and sold this. A lot of rejection right here, a lot of rejection right there, and then it made a lower low, right? So this is not, this could be a first entry right here since it was consolidating right there, but at the same time, price was still pushing up. So you just want to wait for that, lower low and then lower high. So lower low right there, came up again to retest it. It would have been a nice entry right here. 10:30, reasonable time to enter the trade. And then as you can see, it was just bouncing around. And then during the slower time frame, the slower periods, which was kind of annoying, it just dropped. So it dropped, came up again for a lower high, and it failed to make a lower low. All right. So that's why it's very important to pick up buys, because you're gonna do the same thing every time. Same thing every time if you just pick a buy. So if you was a buyer, you saw this, right? Didn't make a lower low, but it still didn't come to this mid level right here. So it was kind of annoying. It was just ranging in the middle of nowhere, basically. So, but just for learning purposes, like if this was, at your mid level or, at your selling, at your buying price that you wanted, it is exactly what you want to look for. Came up, lower high, off the drop, came down, did not make a lower low. So that's a good, good indication that it can go up, and it did go up, right? But I would not buy it, especially it's in the middle of nowhere. I would not buy it right here because price was still dropping, and it was too far from my real price that I wanted to buy it at. So as you can see, I wanted a higher high off of this. So let me just delete this so it won't be too confusing. So what I usually do is after the high is being created off, this little zone right here, not compared to this, I usually draw a little rectangular box around it just to signify the next buy zone. So anytime it makes a higher high, that's the next buy zone right there. All right, so it made a higher high off of this higher high. I wanted to come back down, which it did, but it didn't, reject off this price I had right here. So with that being said, like as you can see, price was really just bouncing around, not doing nothing. All right, once it came off that sell price of it up here, right, kind of double top right here. Like it was just a big mess, but kind of double top right here, and then sellers and buyers was really battling it out last night. Right, I was like really watching this laughing, like it's crazy. They were just battling it out. So sellers went to buy up, sell up here, buyers went to buy down here. Sellers won for a quick moment, and then this is the money price right here that actually made GJ take off for real. So if this did break, right, we knew it was gonna reject right here. At least for a second, possibly make a lower high for sellers, and then break this right here, right? But as you know, like we just got that double bottom, that 1, 2, 3 right there, and then it said bye bye. So it didn't really wait for nobody. But I know Brennan caught this one, so that was good. So came back down, double bottom right there. If you wanted to have an aggressive entry, you could, but just realize price is falling. Just have your stop loss very small, probably possibly 5 pips. That's what I usually do on aggressive entries. And then 5 pips right there would have been smooth. Because if it does break that, that's your lower low. So there's really no reason to get into the trade anymore, right? Or be in a trade anymore, because made that lower low, sellers were still selling it. All right, so made that double bottom. Then I make the lower lot, that lower high. I mean that lower low. I use these words a lot. It's so annoying. So it didn't make that lower low, which is good for buyers. Came up, made a higher high. Right, sellers were still up here trying to sell it. All right, but nonetheless, that's a higher high right there. Boom, higher low. As you can see, it was on my rectangular box. As you can see, there was rejection right here. And also, as you can see right here, this was the last higher high. This was the last, little higher high it made. So that's another sell price. That's another buy price right there. So you can have an entry right there as well. This is a safer entry right there. And as you can see, off of this entry and off of that entry, price dead took off to 100 pips for the first time in so long, like in a day, which is really good, to be honest with you. So that's potential for the future, right? So JBY is losing strength too, so that's pretty good. We could probably get back to normal of the 100 pip days that I used to get. So I'm thinking like in the beginning of the year, it's like really slow. It's slow for like price to shoot up 100 pips in a day. So I remember like last summer I was just getting 100 pips like regardless. Like if I didn't get 100 pips, I'm not entering that trade, or I'm not closing out. So I guess like once we get closer to spring and summer, that's when we're gonna start seeing, those the more volatility plays like we used to. Um, but yeah, so this is exactly what you want to look for. This is like textbook right here. Um, just want that, double bottom right there, higher high, higher low, boom, boom. Off of this, so resistance right here, that was one support. That's why, you can keep your rectangular boxes just to, signify the resistance, so you can possibly get another entry right here. So I did miss these 2 entries, but I did catch this one right here. All right, so that's what's so good about, structure right here. It gives you mad chances to get into the trade. And yeah, so it gives you mad chances to enter the trade. Made a high, another higher high, higher low, and then it just took off. All right. So as you can see, it broke this sell price right here. On a lower time frame, I actually got in again. I realized it was a higher low onto this sell price right here. Right. Potentially now it's not even a sell price anymore. So let me just, so I won't confuse myself. Major level. And this potentially could be another buy zone for myself. Since it did do immediate retest, like normally when it does immediate retest, it comes back down to retest it again just to make sure that's really support. But nonetheless, like right here, clean setup right there, higher high, higher low, a little higher high, a little higher low. That's why it's important to hop down on a 5-minute just in case price is really pushing up significantly. And you can get that sniper entry right there on the major level right there. And I have my 5-pip stop loss at right here 950, and then come nowhere near it, and it just took off. So I had an entry right there and an entry right there. All right. And then now it's just chilling around this mid level. So I did take my profit recently. Normally I would take my profit at 12, but now that I just want to hold the trade until it gets near or it touches my TP. So this caught 50 pips right here, and then I think the other one caught 60 pips, 60 or 70 pips, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, 80 pips, which is fire. But yeah, and then it continued making this high highs, high lows. I didn't enter anymore because price was slowing down. But definitely, as you can see, higher high, higher low, right? Higher high, higher low, right on there too. So connected, boom, and then continue going up. All right, so now it's like fading down. So that's why I took my profit. It's just fading down right now due to the market close and potentially set up for Sunday on this buy price right here. All right, so that's for GJ. It did a last minute rally up, so that's pretty cool. So we can have potential of more rallies going back up for the next week coming up, which is good. Which is good. Let me just hop on the 4-hour just to see something. Yeah, nice. Nice. All right, cool. So that's for GJ. Let me go on EU, my last pair before I dip off this. Yeah, EU might come down a little bit more so I can get another buy price. But like yeah, let me see. When did the week started? February 7th. So right here. So the market opened at a resistance point. So the market opened at a resistance point. I tried selling it when the market opened. Hop on a 15 so you can see what I'm saying. All right, cool. So this was the gap. Came back up, double top right here. I got my entry right there. Came down, made a lower high again, came near to retest again, but didn't really touch it, but came to the area of it. So I got my entry right there, nonetheless, and I got another entry right here. At this point, I think USD started to lose strength, and then EUR gained strength. So that's why it just pushed up out of nowhere. But I was cool because my price, my trade was at break even, so I wasn't really too mad. I just wanted to, at least come down here. That's why I was really trying to counter trend it down here, scalp it down so I can, get my profit over here and then re-enter it for buys 1.2 thousand. So I just realized double top right there. I just had a little lot size, but nothing serious. So overall I wanted to buy this pair anyway, but I just wanted a better price right here. Right, this was unexpected for me because it shot up so early. But nonetheless though, higher high, higher low right there. Right, still didn't buy right here because it was too close to that resistance point. I don't think I bought EU like at all, because it's still a little iffy. Let me go back. Yeah, because they didn't give me like much entries at all. It was just pure strength at that point. So as you can see, price just kept pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. Like right here, like yeah, EU wasn't really worth it this week. Price was just too equivalent, but overall EUR was pretty. It was stronger than USD this whole week. But yeah, it was pretty messy. So it was really no clear entries on EU. So it's pretty mediocre as well. So hopefully, as USD loses strength, I can start to really buy EU and try to hold it for the rest of the year. Because that's what I really want to do. I want to try to get to a trade so I can hold it to the for the rest of the year, and then day trade it as I go on. So yeah, I really don't have a lot of input for EU because it didn't really do nothing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Anybody have any questions before I hop off this? Yeah, as you can see, I didn't really get into EU much. The only buy I got was right here for a little amount of pips. High, low. All right, and it just shot up about like 40 pips, I think. 30 pips, yeah. So it's not, yeah, nothing really going on for EU right now. As you can see, it's falling right now. Potentially might, drop all the way back down to my actual sell zone, 1.2 thousand or 1900, which I really wanted 2 weeks ago. Right, but nonetheless, like I'm just waiting. Like it's a pitcher's game for EU, so I can really buy it up. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I'm pretty much done going over pairs. If you guys don't have any questions, I can just hop off this and answer any questions you guys have later. But yeah, that's pretty much how you guys should enter your trades, look for your trades. And on Sunday, I'm gonna go over how to plan your trades too. So I'll try to go more in depth for you guys, so you guys can get better at planning. Because without planning, like you really can't trade without planning. Because if you have no plan, you just gotta open your charts and just try to scout for trades, which is not really ideal. You want to know what you do. You want to know what you're doing at all times. So that's very important. But yeah, but with that being said, I'm gonna hop off this, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me personally in the app, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, like always. And yeah, just have a good weekend. Don't really take this weekend off. Like, don't take no weekends off, no days off. Open your charts for like at least an hour and just study your charts, man. Like, plan on Saturday, plan on Sunday, and get back in the swing of things for the new week coming up. Never lose sight of your goal, and yeah, continue to push. All right. So I'm gonna catch y'all on the app. See y'all later. Be safe.